stand if you like.
Good afternoon. Let's bow here. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together tonight to take care of town's business. Continue to give us guidance and support as we navigate through a challenging time, but we're making progress. As you continue to give us the guidance, just let us know that what you do will not be forgotten. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening, Spring Lake. In a really happy mood. I got a chance to get some downtime this weekend. So, yay, happy to be back, happy to get things going again. So I will now call for any additions or deletions to the agenda. Hearing none, we will move on for a motion to approve. Alderman Palacios.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll now entertain a motion to approve the consent items, draft minutes of the April 10th, 2023 regular meeting and the Spring Lake Military Veterans Affairs and Advisory Committee application for Electa Coleman. Awesome. Alderman Lashley.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent items.
Is there a second? Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? Alderman Palacios.
With the Military and Veteran Affairs Committee, how many members is that now with the appointment of Electa Coleman?
So that leaves us at least one more vacancy that's on the committee. So if we have any interested military veterans, active duty, retirees that would like to serve on the Military Veterans Affairs, we do still have some openings and would love to have you join us.
Thank you.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. We will now move on to public comment, and I will invite Ms. Crystal Johnson to the podium. Please state your name and address for the record. Remember that there are only 3 minutes for each public comment, and we've put some really, really bright notifications just to let you know so I don't have to interrupt you.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, Mayor, Aldermen, and all the women. I live at 654 Goodyear Drive. I want to say thank you for the elected officials who want to serve the Spring Lake citizens. I have a few concerns. Spring Lake needs to enforce landlords and their property. Landlords, maybe if we get some if y'all enforce the landlords to do better by their property, then therefore the landlord can tell the tenant, and maybe we can make Spring Lake look a little bit better. Thank you for cleaning up the paper, but I want to look more on a code enforcement basis. I understand that we only have one code enforcement. And the vacant houses here in Spring Lake, the weather's getting ready to get warm. A lot of vacant houses, I like to see the grass to continue to be cut, but most definitely we need to really enforce to these landlords and these people who have these properties out here to do better by their properties. People who are renting them, these shops, the list goes on and on. It needs to be a standard. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. All right, now we have Miss C. Johnson Moore. Will you please state your name and address for the record?
Hello, everybody. My name is Miss Kathleen Johnson Moore. I live in the Old Holly Hills area. I talked to Miss Sonia Cooper about the speeding on my street, Mack Street, and asked her could I get a speed bump because I have 3 little kids right in the same area, and they like 2, 3, or 4 little boys, and they constantly run. And we have a neighbor, he constantly speeds. So I called Miss Sonia Cooper about it and asked her about the speed bump because we have a slow sign right in front of my house across the street because I stay in front of Beacon Towing, and it's constantly speeding like a racetrack over there. And I was concerned about my grandson who stays with me now, he's 3, and he's a runner. and I'm too old to be running after them, you know. So if I could get somebody to help me with that, that's why I reached out to Miss Cooper, okay? And another thing, why do some of our neighbors need to pull their garbage cans inside the gate and others on the sidewalk? We have like 2 houses, the borrowers used to stay there, and I don't know who's there now, but the trash cans are always out. And it looks really bad when you come through our area. So if that could be taken care of, because they're renters, maybe they don't know the law in Spring Lake, but somebody need to tell them. I appreciate it, and for you letting me have my voice up here, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for
And
coming.
thank you guys for what you do.
Okay, since we have no presentations, we will move on to our new business. And Jason isn't here, so our manager chief has to tend to some fire business. He is with our county commissioners discussing things for our fire station, so he's unable to attend our meeting tonight. So I will discuss with the board briefly my concerns with this agreement. So Cumberland County, again, I want to applaud the due diligence of our audit committee for this catch. Alderwoman Cooper, as we were going through our budget line by line, we noticed that we were paying the county for our tax collection. And of course, we're looking for as many ways as possible to make sure that we are not wastefully spending our money. So we began the process of looking into, is it more beneficial for the town for us to collect our own taxes or stay with the county? We reached out to the county to find out what our current tax collection agreement was. We found out that we had no current tax collection agreement on record. There had been some changes made at the county in the past few years that has lowered our tax collection. And so again, through the due diligence of our audit committee, we were able to identify this oversight, and we have now, there's been drafted a new tax collection agreement, which is going to save the town $20,000 per year on tax collection now that we have this updated agreement. However, in the wording of the agreement, they tend to go back and forth between town and city. So if you notice on the very first page of the agreement, they specifically state this contract is made to, and entered into blank under the date between Cumberland County, a political subdivision of the state of North Carolina, hereinafter referred to as the county, and the town of Spring Lake, North Carolina Municipal Corporation, hereinafter referred to as the city. If you go on to the very first paragraph, you'll notice that they are interchanging town and city. So what I want, before we sign this agreement, we need some clarity on, are we the town or are we the city? Read a little further, and just to give you an exact example, the governing body's first paragraph, the county and the town have found and determined that it is in the public benefit and interest to provide the collection by the county of real and personal property taxes levied by the town, as well as certain other special assessments assessed by the city. Gross receipt taxes on vehicles and equipment rentals and lease fees authorized to be collected within property taxes and motor vehicle taxes levied by the city. When you go down, go the second or the third whereas, now it's saying the governing body and the county and the town have ratified this agreement. And if you continue to go through the document, they keep interchanging town and city. So I want that corrected before we move into this, and I'm open to your discussion on this document. Alderman Palacios.
The first question I had was, I know Alderwoman Cooper was trying to get the current agreement.
Right.
But I know that it was discovered there wasn't a current
Right.
agreement. So did we get a copy of our prior agreement?
There isn't one.
So,
can't find
the
them.
savings of $20,000, how do we know that? What's that
Based
kind
on what we paid through finance. So when we went through Sylvia. Please keep your comments kind of low, please. Thank you. We went through Sylvia through finance. She found out what we were currently paying and matched that up to what we're supposed to be paying now. And there's a $20,000 cost savings.
So between what we've been paying and what we're going to be paying based on this agreement, you're saying it's $20,000?
It's a $20,000 savings.
Okay.
And it's also way less than what we would pay if we were to bring in our own tax collector. So we would end up paying more if we hired a tax collector on staff to do this instead of outsourcing to the county.
And when those revenues come in, they're collected by the county.
Mhm.
The county then distributes based on what the prior agreement was.
Right.
And
So we'll find out about back pay too.
Right, as far as getting clarification on the county or the city and the town wording, getting a copy of that prior agreement, wherever that may be, I think is important so we can compare. Okay, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Is there any other, Alderman Blackman?
So Mayor, as I look in here on number 8, when we're looking to pay 0.75% of the taxes that are collected. I'll give you a second to get to that point. So based upon that, do we have numbers on what this 0.75% is as far as what would be paid? And since you said that it would be cheaper to stay with the county than to go with an outsource, what study are we looking at?
So we were paying 1.75%, and now we're paying 0.75%. So I'm not sure of the exact numbers. Again, Jason was supposed to present this, so he has the exact numbers for this, and I'll make sure he sends you the email with all of those that information in it. But it's the percentage change that's giving us the savings. They went from, again, charging all municipalities 1.75 to 0.75%.
And as I look through here, it talked about a yearly update giving us our status on there. That's something that we haven't had or something that I haven't seen since I've been on the board.
Yep. And again, all of those things need to happen from now going forward.
Okay.
So I would like to table this. If you guys would make that motion, I'd like to table this until we get these corrections made, get the additional information provided, and then we can go ahead and adopt the agreement. Alderman Palacios?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Awesome. So the motion carries to table signing the interlocal agreement until the updates are made and the information is put out to the rest of the board with exact numbers. And hopefully we can, or they will find the contract and we can send that as well. Okay, agenda item 8B is our rural transformation grant. This makes me so excited that we are in the process of making real headway with Main Street revitalization. As you heard in, I believe it was it last month when Janine came to talk about, she presented to us the opportunity to do a rural transformation grant that's going to provide some much needed updates and renovations to Main Street. Well, we are heavily involved in the process. The board gave the consent for Ms. Janine to work with staff in order to get this grant for us, and I would like to make sure that I highlight and commend our staff, Ms. Hickman, Tim, Carly, Jason, who else? And Steve. I was like, there's one more on the team for working together very quickly and very professionally in an expert manner to put together a phenomenal presentation that will go before the Department of Commerce Rural Transportation Grant approving authority, and hopefully, fingers crossed, and definitely that we're a shoo-in for this award. So what this will do, there's 3 phases to this grant and 3 phases to the transformation. So we're starting with some street lights, some streetscaping, putting in some new trees and planters, updating the parking and the sidewalk. And so there's, Tim, since you're here, would you like to come up and elaborate just a bit?
I mean, I was just brought in last Thursday. I think that's enough.
So we've got several feet of sidewalk that we're asking to be repaired, planters and trees to go in, and then some streetlights in phase 1. And so the board was, I received an update earlier today, which I disseminated to the board. Phase 2 will be, well, I have it in front of me. Phase 1 is going to be curb and gutters, pedestrian walkways and sidewalks, gateway signs. Those are the entry signs, so you'll see the Welcome to Spring Lake pretty signs on there. And those will actually extend outside of the corridor. Those won't be directly on Main Street, so we're looking to put one coming in from Harnett County, coming in from Bass Road, coming in from the Lillington Highway side, and coming in from Fort Bragg. So we need this is our town, and we want to, own it and make it beautiful. And so we're going to put in some gateway signs, and then pedestrian lights. We want to light up Main Street and make it, more visible. And it's a safety thing. Phase 2 is we're going to continue the curbs and gutters as needed, continue the pedestrian sidewalks, which may vary. So where there's areas there aren't any sidewalks, there'll be sidewalks put in. For the areas where the sidewalks are buckled and broken, those will all be repaired. More gateway signs. This is when we move into the landscaping and spaces. And so what we want to do is we want to put in those beautiful planters. We've got some empty spots in between parking spaces where you can't park, but we can plant a tree. So we want to provide some trees and park benches for people to come down and sit on Main Street and just enjoy our community. Some canopy trees, and then some shrubs for phase 2. Oh, I'm sorry, pedestrian lights. Phase 3 has the shrubs. Phase 3 will be more curbs and gutters, continuing the sidewalks. Now we're putting in the benches and the trash receptacles, bike racks, things that are going to help to build the infrastructure that's going to attract businesses. And when the businesses come, now we have a place for our community to go and have a cup of coffee or walk the dog. So yeah, I get excited about this because I can see it, I can feel it, I can smell it. So disregard my smile, I can't help it. So this is a five-phased project. Phase 4, pedestrian walkways, canopy trees, more shrubs, and park benches, bike racks. Phase 5, which is, I need everybody, you guys, if you guys can support us, and when we say we need you to rally behind this, we want to put those utility wires underground. That is a huge, 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 huge cost, but it's going to change the entire feel of Main Street. So we're playing go hard or go home. So we're asking for the biggest ask possible. We're showing them that we're not just thinking about, right now. We want this to continue long term. We want to see Spring Lake continue to grow. This is a diamond in the rough, y'all. We might look like coal, but we're clean coal. We're clean now. And we're applying the pressure. We are applying a whole lot of pressure, so I guarantee you that diamond will shine. I just wanted to again inform the board that this process is happening and give you an update on where we are. Again, huge, huge, huge thank you to the staff of Spring Lake. When we put this before them, guys, I said, can I have it in a couple of weeks? They did it in 24 hours. 24-hour turnaround. Now that's excitement. When you can get your employees excited about the development of our community, something's happening. So again, I'm so excited about our staff. I'm excited about the potential growth, the things that are happening right now. So that's my update on our rural transformation grant. Do you have any questions or discussion? Awesome. Alderman Palacios.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the update. And I see this time frame is a 2 to 5 year time frame.
Yes.
Okay. And I think everybody in this town agrees that Main Street needs a lot of attention, and so I'm in favor of this. The best way to do this is a way that makes it expedient and cost effective. So I think we're all in favor of that, and we've already got stuff going on Main Street, you know, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a little plug in. We have our mural project going on, and I wanna go ahead and take this time and announce that they have selected a finalist, and they have selected the final rendering. So in May, I believe it's going to be the May 22nd meeting, they're gonna present that to the board, the committee is gonna come. So they're finalizing to make sure that date works for them. And so I wanted to add that. So that, along with the other revitalization going on Main Street, is a big deal for Spring Lake. So
Huge deal.
good move. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And as far as funding, so again, this is a rural transformation grant. This grant funding is ongoing. So as we run out of money for projects, we're going to always be in the process of reapplying for this grant, which is why it's broken down into phases, to show that we're going to continue to pursue this funding until we get Main Street and beyond the revitalization, because the community will always grow, and so we want to grow with the community, because a mentor told me a long time ago, if you're not growing, you're dying. And so we want to continue to stay in that phase of constantly thinking about the future of Main Street and the future of our community as a whole. So we'll, like I said, as the phases progress, we'll continue to apply for funding for minimal financial impact on the town. Is there any other discussion? Awesome. All right, we will move on to the mayor's report. I could talk all night. But don't I always? Okay, I'd like to start with our birthdays, because I love our employees and I love to tell them happy birthday because they deserve it. Super hard worker, so workers, plural. Miss Maria in Water Revenue celebrated a birthday. Our firefighter Brian Hessler celebrated a birthday, and Miss Sylvia in Finance also celebrated a birthday this month. So happy birthday to our staff who had their birthdays in the month of April. Big thing that's been tearing us up throughout the past few weeks is trash. So we have had several back-to-back vehicle malfunctions. Now, these are not town-owned vehicles. We contract through GFL, so although we are responsible for the contract, we do not provide the service. So we can only tell you what we are told, and when GFL has a malfunction, it has to go through GFL to fix the malfunction. And they have, again, had several series of extreme incidences that put our traffic pickup for the past 2 weeks very behind. So they are working as diligently as possible to try to get things up to date. And I know, Bernard, they sent a message saying they're pretty much caught up. So they should be caught up now, and hopefully they'll buy some new vehicles. No, but do something to try to minimize this. But all we can do is inform you. We can't really do much about it. But please bear with us as they try to repair their issues. We'll do our best to keep you as informed as possible. The splash pad opens on May 1st, so that's a huge plus. We share things on Facebook quite often. Nothing shared as fast as the splash pad post, so people are super excited about that. Our Hope course is now open for welding. Now, I always want to highlight that this is a paid training. So when you sign up for this training, they actually offer you a stipend to subsidize your income while you're working. I believe it's a $20, and it may fluctuate per class, but it's a work study program. So that's open right now for enrollment. I had a chance to go to Fayetteville Cumberland County Economic Development Advisory Academy, or Economic Development Academy, this past, it was a few days ago, Thursday, I think. But what we learned about economic development, seeing as we do not have an economic developer on staff, and so we have to lean heavily on the county for our economic development. And so what we're doing now is we're working directly with Mr. Van Gans to, one, find out the data on Spring Lake, because it's hard to build economically if you don't have the data. So we now have tons of current financial data on Spring Lake that we can work with too. And as the mayor and the board, we can now, use this data to talk to potential investors or businesses to entice them to come to our community. So this is the basic foundation to us rebuilding our business community here in Spring Lake. And I do want to make all of this information public to the community, because we work for you. You own the town, and you should know the financial status, and you should have privy to all of the data backing what's happening here in our town. So I will make sure that if the board is okay, we can add that to our website. You all received it via email. I believe it was like 13 documents. So take the time and digest all of that. It's some phenomenal information and statistical data about our community. So again, we'll make that available for the public. You may wonder why our dais is empty. I mentioned why Chief is not here. He is doing, with the county, discussing our fire department. And Alderwoman Cooper has advanced on to City Vision, where myself and a few of our other board members will be attending from Tuesday to Thursday. Now, City Vision is a conference offered by the National League of Cities for training and professional development for elected officials and town staff or city staff. So we are going to train, we are going to network, and hopefully we can bring back some good resources and become sharper and better politicians, elected officials, and leaders for the community. We just had, so National Library Week. It is from the 23rd through the 29th. Were you going to talk about that? I will be quiet on that one, and I will pass that to Mayor Pro Tem.
No, you're fine, go ahead.
And so, one last thing, and I get to kind of toot my own horn because I'm really proud of this. I was nominated to be on the North Carolina Mayors Association Board of Directors. Thank you. So this is a huge deal to be able to advocate for our town, and not just for our town, to be able to advocate for other small communities that go through issues like we face. It's good to be able to share. If I can help someone else not have their first term like ours, I would love to, but it's not just that. It's a way for me to become more informed, learn more, network more, and be able to advocate better for us as well. So I'm extremely honored to be nominated for this position, and the vote will be taken while we're at City Vision this coming week. So those are my updates, and I will now pass it on to my Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I just want to remind the public about Mr. Nathaniel Finch's 11th annual Mayor's Cup Boxing Tournament on May 6, 2023. The doors open at 3 p.m. It's going to be at True Vine Ministries, 5315. This is someone that you really, truly want to support. He's been a big pillar in our community, so we definitely want to support Mr. Finch. And also, I just want to remind parents that upcoming EOG is going to be May 17th and May 18th, and this is the time you really want to buckle down and support your children. So I just want to remind them, because this is really huge for each child. So, and as the mayor was saying, it is National Library Week, and that's all the announcements that I have. Thank you.
Alderman Palacios?
Thank you, Mayor. And the Appearance Committee next meeting is May 10th. We had just done the Earth Day cleanup. If you were there at Earth Day, raise your hand.
Oh, I wish I could have made it.
Good to see you out there, by the way. We had quite a few volunteers on a day that scared a lot of people away, let's be frank. I mean, everybody expected storms, and so everybody got out there and rushed to clean up the town, and it went well. I think Alderman Lackman will kind of share some details he's got. And anyway, so Earth Day cleanup went really smooth. And then Yard of the Month is going to be starting back. So So we'll be getting that going, recognizing our neighbors for their outstanding work maintaining their property. We want to honor those people as well that help keep Spring Lake looking good. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Alderwoman Thompson?
What I do have to share is that on Saturday at 8:15, registration starts for the torch run. 09, the event will kick off. You can run, you can walk, you can spectate, you can cheerlead. They do have t-shirts for $20 a piece, and it will be up here at Veterans Park. And then also with the weather changing, you have a lot of elderly and disabled people. Check on them and see if they need anything as far as lawn being cut as well, because some of them can't afford or can't get out there and do it themselves. So check on your neighbors. That's all I have.
Aw, thanks. Margaret, or I'm sorry, Alderman.
Thank you, Mayor. So with our cleanup that we just had this past weekend, we're trying to make it better. Each year we're trying to clean up different things. I'll give you the totals here. There was 30 bags of trash that was picked up, 61 tires that were turned in so that those are no longer sitting alongside the roads, put out at these illegal dump sites. There was 2 waste items that were turned in. So waste items are anything with a cord. So vacuum cleaners. While Adrian, Alderwoman Thompson and I were out there cleaning, we engaged some of the citizens and we asked them if they had anything. 2 people said we got broke vacuum cleaners. I said, give them to me, we'll turn them in, and so we get rid of those. And also there was 13 bags of trash that Chuck went around and picked up. So these are ones that I know of, Mayor, but I don't know everybody. Tim Gardner, Deanna Rosario, Mike Eckert, and Chuck from the town were out there facilitating this cleanup. But I'd also like to recognize the appearance committee, Ms. Sutherland, Dr. Dickerhoff, Cynthia, and there may have been others out there, again, that I don't know. Alderwoman Thompson, Alderman Palacios, Leslie Kelly was out there cleaning up, Barbara Lewis was out there cleaning up. So every site that Deanna Rosario had on there for cleanup, we were able to touch each of those sites and at least get some of the cleanup done. Alderwoman Thompson and I had cleaned up 2 illegal dump sites that were out there, and we picked up an old TV, tires, so many beer bottles, so many beer cans, so much, kids' clothes and just trash that was thrown out there. So 30 bags of trash, 61 tires, 2 vacuum cleaners, 13 bags of trash that Chuck went around and picked up from us so that trash could get brought in. So just want to bring that to light. And also Morning Jump provided us some coffee and some breakfast, so we were able to be happy and energetic out there. Also like to say that the Military Veterans Affairs Committee is going to meet tomorrow night here at 6:30 p.m. right here in this conference room. So we will be continuing on with that. But also on May 6th, the cleanup doesn't stop just because we did this. May 6th at 8 a.m. at Southwinds Plaza, we will go out and clean up some more of the streets here in Spring Lake. But just want to bring that to the attention of the residents out here. Things are getting better, streets are looking better, and that's due to you also for helping clean up the town. So thank each and every one of you all.
Definitely, I echo that. Thank you all. Appreciate it so much. Do you have any updates for us?
I have nothing.
All right, well, I will now entertain a motion to go into closed session pursuant to NCGS 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege, and NCGS 143-318-11A6, personnel. Somebody blinked and it went off.
That was me.
Alderwoman Thompson.
So moved.
Is there a second? Alderman Lackman.
I second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are now going into closed session. Thank you all so much for coming out. Please continue to Any discussion? Yes, no action was taken. However, the board is in preliminary discussion to gauge interest with our town manager finalist. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I will now entertain a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Mayor Pro Tem. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?